Alright, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and I literally just woke up, just turned the stream on, just came back from playing a bunch of Guild Wars 2 over on the side channel, and turns out there's a patch today. And they decided to immediately release the patch notes way early. Normally this happens like in the afternoon as well, but instead I guess we're going through it right now. So I've heard that apparently Mara gets buffed, Alarian gets buffed, Voidbringers gets changed. I don't know. We'll see. Since every single week it seems to be an entirely new game, so we'll just go through and sort of experience it for the first time ourselves, shall we? So, patch notes for November 20th. The first month after EA launch focused on here and now issues of getting players into consistent experience. A significant amount of that has been work on our back-end servers. Now that we're seeing a more stable experience, we're starting to shift into long-term improvements and feature development. Also, a lot of things we're working on getting into the game, and that comes with development and testing to make sure we're not introducing new issues as we go. The Bethesda classic. Well, we're gaining momentum on these new features, so we have a number of fixes and updates coming this week as well. This is apparently Eternal Solo Queue is coming sometime in December, supposedly is what they mean by this. Added the ability to remove offline players from your friends list. Keck W, love that. They say they fixed whispers, we'll see about that. That's feedback in chat when a muted player tries to speak. Okay. If they fixed whispers, they're gonna need to have, like, block and mute, which that they didn't have before. So, hopefully they fix that. Select previous target functionality still wasn't working. Alright. Additional context on death recap for 0 damage events. Okay. Fix an issue where the texture on player's health bars was displaying incorrectly. Fix an issue where Mara's hero HUD blocks mouse inputs. Kick W. Okay. Progression. We discovered a bug in our damage calculations this week that was causing some strange behaviors for any effects that acted as a multiplier on your main stat. So any more multipliers were bugged, I guess. I fixed this issue in the patch. We're keeping a very close eye on ripple effects. The limited time we've tested this internally, we haven't seen any dramatic effects, so let us know if anything was bugged. The bug caused any percent main stat bonuses to be added to your damage coefficient, even though they would show up on your character sheet as expected. Okay. Example, big damage abilities. We're using Alarian's High Wind Arrow for this example. Oh boy, I already copped a fucking nerf. For this example's sake, we'll ignore any other damage bonuses. Larian's High Wind Arrow deals 865% baseline ability, agility damage. With 1,000 agility, that would result in 8,650 damage per hit per target, disregarding armor. With the 2 set bonus of Dragonite, you're granted 20% agility. This would result in your agility going to 1,200. The expected result will be that your High Wind now deals an average of 1,200. 10,000. But the bug instead added it to the base. This instead resulted in it dealing 8,000. Also, that's like that's a mega loss. So the Ransacker Drakenheim set bonus just fucking blue cheeks, huh? Because of that fucking bug. This is caused the Ransack bonus specifically to increase the damage by approximately 2% rather than 20%. No wonder, I was feeling like that fucking set was kind of mid. Oh well. Small damage abilities. We're using Mara's Volatile Poison. The explosion deals 40% agi. Will deal 400 damage. It's supposed to be 1,200, but instead you get 1,000. Alright, no. It was supposed to be 480. Instead added 20%. So, oh, that's funny. You actually got more damage on lower damage abilities than on higher damage abilities. That's fucking whack. That is the small indie company special. Mara's Volatile Poison has been increased by 30% as a part of the compensation. Okay. This fix only affects the following talents. Helena's Second Wind. Okay. It says it was fall set. Your crits have a chance to increase strength. Right Tide set. So the Cithral's Fall set wasn't really working as intended then either. Neither was the main stat on Rat. Wow, all the set bonuses were borked. That's fucking funny. Might have the Minotaur wasn't working correctly. Hidden Power wasn't working correctly. Vengeful Soul wasn't working correctly. Wow, everything to do with main stat was just broken. That's fucking funny. So we were discovering the symptoms of the bug when a player with very high item power played in Contender League. They would sometimes deal 1 or 2 damage with their abilities. Oh, that's funny. Or should no longer be squished to unreasonably low damage numbers when wearing full high item gear in low league dungeons. Well, it still doesn't make a difference, so you still have to take off half your gear. Oh boy, more Mako changes for the fucking 15th time. Well, I am doing Mako solo queue at some point, so that's a lot of fucking buffs. Spirit Palm damage, Wind Kick damage, Earth Fist damage, Earth Fist Barrage damage, Rising Storm, Lashing Storm Kick, Spirited Vortex, Stone Shield, Shatter Earth, Twin Soul. Grants you 15% dodge chance and vortex radius increased. Enemies hit by the vortex now deal 10% reduced damage while they're affected by the buff. That's fucking disgusting. So, good thing I'm doing her tomorrow, I guess. Like, yeah, sure, just more Mako buffs. Keck fucking W, by the way. 20% Glacial Blast damage, 10% Freezing Torrent damage, 20% Cold Snap damage. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Love that. All single target buff to try and make up for the fact apparently Voidbringers is getting changed. Hey, look! I guarantee you his ulti's about to get nerfed. Sky Strider's Grace reduced by 60-second cooldown. That's great, love that. Event Horizon now increases all damage you deal was 15. So 5% buff on Alarian ulti. 60 seconds off of Alarian haste. That's really nice, actually. Ardios. Previous week's patch, we buffed his damage. We felt needed impact for that ability. We realized it had no damage scaling reduction when used on large groups of enemies. Incinerates damage while channeling now deals reduced damage when hitting more than 8 targets. I wonder if that affects the 9th target and beyond, or all targets once you hit 8 plus. Mara. Compensating for the percent damage main stat bonus. Skittering Blades 12%, Arachnid 10%, Volatile 30%. Doesn't make a difference, still trash. Vigor's Rune of Renewal 16%. Nice, cool, I'll just see that. Synchronized Fluttering costed to deduct twice the mana cost. I thought so. I had a feeling something was off with that fucking mana cost. I'm so glad I didn't say anything, but every time I used it, I was like, this feels like it's taking 20 to 35% of my fucking mana bar. This fix results in it costing 200% of its base cost on overcharge cast, down from 400%. Fucking thank God. That's gonna genuinely help when I go and play her soon. Weapons. I wish I could you could summarize my work emails in this way. This is great. I do my best. Alright, the big update of this patch is they're nerfing Voidbringers into the pavement. They've made adjustments to Voidbringers to address the extreme peaks the weapon was able to produce in regards to damage. This also changes overall Bringer damage. So it's intended to be a weapon that doesn't have the highest overall damage in a dungeon, but rather sacrificing some overall to gain access to an important tool, being able to focus down on one specific enemy. With this change, we've also granted a 100% crit chance. This means the weapons will always deal grievous crits, causing it to have less extreme scaling with critical strikes than it did before. Watch someone find something really dumb to make this fucking red crit even harder than it was before. While not removing the crit value of crit strike chance, grievous strikes also increase base damage equal to your hero's crit strike chance. This change makes it more reliable in performance. Those huge crits, while fun, would also lead to very anticlimactic non-crits. True. How do I know where I'm? 400k DPS first phase and sailors. Oh, it probably still will be. It'll just be 200 instead. With this adjustment, I've also made some adjustments to heroes' base kits to compromise. Voidbringer's Touch now accumulates 10% of all your damage you deal was 20. Can now accumulate half as much main stat, and its cooldown was increased. Oh yeah, that thing just got nuked into the floor. Chrono Shift. Damage reduced by 10%. Kick W. The hidden damage output Chrono Shift grants players to its cooldown acceleration. We decided to tone this damage down. Yeah, that's fine. You're using it for cooldown anyway. Earthbreaker. Earthbreaker's initial hits have been increased. Earthbreaker's taking damage area has been increased by 20%. If it wasn't a 3-minute cooldown, that thing might not suck. We'll see. Shackle? I have no idea what this even is. Oh, Riptide got increased by 20%. You'll have to see that. Curses. Shadow Lord. Yeah, apparently Shadow Lord got nuked. Oh, Malevolent Shade's health got nuked by 40%. Now killing a Shade, players are healed for 85% of their max health. That's fucking nuts. The Shadow Lord now has a 400 spirit point value, was 0. This is how many spirit points you get when you kill it. So now, is it as it spawns? The best way to use their spirit abilities as the Shadow Lord spawns and then have their abilities recharge by the time it reaches 0. Okay, that's an interesting choice. I mean, I was ulting Shadow Lord generally anyways, because if you didn't, your team would just die most of the time. But that means you ult Shadow Lord every time now, because you get Shadow Lord refills your ulti insta afterwards. Health's increased because of the buff. Okay. So Shadow Lord does die mad fast now because of like wanting to ult it every time. The above change, you expect people to be using the spirit abilities to deal with it. As a result, we increase its health. If you have 20% on your hero, you get 20% more spirit points as a personal bonus of the result sharing, i.e. you generate 120 rather than 100. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, more spirit equals more ultis equals more stonks. Boss encounter barriers now only affect players. All enemies can now use abilities and run through barriers at any time. There was some stuff where this would get stuck, which was kind of funny. And then the treasure ball boss used to sometimes spawn outside of the area. So, interesting overall. Mara's still shit. That's not enough to do anything worthwhile. Alarian Ardios gets nerfed on multi-target. Rhyme gets compensatory buffs because they nerfed her most important interaction. Mako is crazy as always. And, yeah. I mean, all in all, I think the biggest thing is probably fixing the set bonuses. It's really nice. That means the set bonuses don't feel as bad. Am I still in Guild Wars 2? I'll fix a category in a second then. Yeah, now this doesn't feel as bad, which is nice. And then, I mean, this is useful for the Mako challenge I'm going to do pretty soon. This is a nice change. Love that. And then, otherwise, yeah, we were expecting Voidbringers touch fix. The Shadow Lord change, though, this is a really nice one. Because this makes it so Shadow Lord's not as scary anymore. So if you have like a lukewarm healer at best, then you can just nuke the Shadow Lord and it's not gonna fuck your entire team. Because that's kind of the problem, is that you have to group up for Vigor healing, or else you just kind of die to Shadow Lord in higher tiers. So it's nice that you can just, like, everyone pops ulti. So Vigor can just perma-sustain. And then, your other teammates just pop and fucking nuke him. This change is kind of nuts, though. Malevolent Shade is actually a good affix now, because it's not that bad anymore. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.